Hi, welcome to Talkin Business. I'm Joe Catrambone, CEO of the Stuart Martin County Chamber of Commerce, and I've got part of our dream team with us today, Angela Hoffman, who is our Director of Operations and Workforce Development. Angela is filling big shoes. Since I've been here, 32 years, she's our third Director of Operations. The first being Nancy Saylor, who was with the Chamber for well over 30 years. And then Cindy LaConte, who was with the Chamber over 20 years. And now we've got Angela, who is very adequately filling in and filling those shoes. And I'm proud to have you.
Thank you.
I think you're a great addition to our dream team. I mean, I told you yesterday how good you all make me look, and I know you're going to continue to keep making me look good. So thank you for that. Why don't you tell us a little bit? First of all, give us a little background because you did come from another chamber, and give us some of your background so everyone who doesn't know now can get a little bit out of you.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Thank you. Certainly big shoes to fill. Those are some powerful women in the chamber field, and I'm so excited that I get to pick up where they left off, and thankful to the chamber for investing in me. I just got back from Institute, the U.S. Chamber's Institute of Management, and I know both Nancy and Cindy went through that program, and I'm excited to have a chance to bring those great things back to the Stuart Martin Chamber.
When I told a lot of people when I first started in the chamber business, I went to Institute, they said, that's where you belong, in an institution.
Institute of Management, not Institute of Chamber crazy people. So, but I came from the Hope Sound Chamber, another local chamber of commerce, and my heart is working with entrepreneurs. As you know, Joe, I think they're the absolute bravest people in the entire world, and getting to work with entrepreneurs and business people every day, they're what makes our community tick. They give back to the nonprofits and the little leagues. They make our schools better, and they're the innovators. So I can't imagine working for any other group of people in the world. So serving business owners is where I like to be.
And I know that, and and you know how I feel about passion. And I think one of the things from the day I met you, when you were running first started at the Hope Sound Chamber, I felt that and could see that passion. And to me, someone who doesn't have passion, I don't mean to be critical, but when you have passion, you get things done. You care. And so that's so important to me. And I think, as you know, our entire staff has got passion.
I emailed or called every single business leader, association leader in the Treasure Coast and asked to have a sit-down meeting to pick their brain. And the only one that called me back, so nobody knew my name, nobody knew me. I mean, who was I? The only person that called me back was Joe Catrambone. And we had coffee in your office, I remember. And it was an hour and a half of just schooling ins and outs of association management, how to overcome challenges, stories from the experiences you've had. And it was, I want to tell you, I was at University of Florida for 5 years. Yes, 5, not 4. I probably should have a higher degree than a bachelor in science, but I learned more in that hour and a half than I can say I ever have. So thank you for taking a chance and spending time with me.
and I'm so happy I did meet with you, and I'm so happy that you called me. So, the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history.
So, gosh, I was going somewhere else and I forget. I liked what you said because, part of our mission statement says we are the front door to the community. And when I, in the beginning, I looked and I said, come on.
Front door.
Yeah. But after 32 years, I'm convinced we are the front door. Because, it's interesting. It doesn't matter, especially you and I both have a love for politics. And, we have the Political Action Committee, CPAC. But even before the Political Action Committee, anybody who was running for any office in Martin County
Come to you
will
first.
come to the chamber. You know, and they, of course, we didn't endorse. Chambers don't do that.
No, but
That's-
it's the chamber's job to understand and to share the biggest issues that the business community is having. If the candidates don't know that, they
Well, we also point them in the right direction for support, because they all need financial support.
Yes.
Aside from people voting, they need the financial support. So obviously, who has the money? Businesses. So I get it, but I'm thankful for it, because I get to vet them before their name goes on a ballot,
absolutely.
before anybody else knows. And then, of course, back in the, gosh, early 90s, I went to our board and I said, we need to be more involved. Most chambers don't get involved in politics, as you know, especially partisan politics. And so that's when I said to our board, we should really consider doing a political action committee. And they had the foresight. They trusted me enough and the group that we put together to go ahead and do CPAC. And we've been doing CPAC since the early 90s and have lost one election in so many years. So
Congratulations to that board. I mean, they were visionaries.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, same with our board now, and realizing that workforce development was an area that our chamber, needs to be involved in. I mean, politics, workforce development,
it all meshes.
the economy, the environment. I mean, some of the biggest organizations have been born out of the Stuart Martin County Chamber, from
From our nonprofit.
Rivers coalitions to arts councils to economic development boards. I mean, these are all
Education Foundation.
Education
We
Foundation.
applied for that 501c designation, yeah. Main Street.
the Main Street
Yeah,
Association.
yeah.
I mean, these are all, and what's interesting about them is you and your board and your staff team have been able to address a major issue in the community, and put a coalition together, determine that there's a need, apply for the 501c3, help them get their footing financially, organizationally, so that they can address a need in the community. And then what's beautiful about it is you let them go, and they have been able to flourish as their own entities, with their own boards, and grow in the way that they need to for the community. And it doesn't stay an internal department of the chamber, because you realize that it can grow to be so much more. And so many organizations start things, but then they have founder syndrome, right? They keep it within, they don't let it grow, they stifle it. And that's something that you and
you
your
have to
board
give it
have
its own
really
life.
been able to
Yeah.
perfect.
And Main Street is such a perfect example. I mean, we applied for the designation. We hired a lady by the Jane, I can't remember her last name. Jane was her first name. We gave her an office, a space in our
In the
building
chamber.
for 5 years. Gave her secretarial help, a computer, the whole 9 yards, until they finally could get up on their own. And but that was so long ago. I would guarantee there's not one vendor or a merchant in downtown Stuart that knows that story. I promise you that. I guarantee it. People forget, and I get it. But I like to talk about it
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Yeah. It's hard to remember when they weren't there
Oh,
for
yeah,
it. But,
yeah, of
but so
course.
many wonderful things have been born out of the chamber. And I always love to share, not a lot of chambers, own their own buildings and are, landlords to commercial property. And I love that our chamber is that, because if there's a startup business that's just in that in-between space between a home-based business and do I have enough in my
Storefront,
coffers?
yeah.
Yeah, to have
Yeah.
a storefront or walk-in office. What do you do? And that's a big risk to take for entrepreneurs. And I love that our chamber has the space upstairs for rental, and that we can give those small businesses a chance to transition from a home-based business to a storefront business. It's really special. It's just another important piece of what the Stuart Martin County Chamber does every day for business.
Yeah, and that's through the leadership. I've been so blessed to have 30 or what, I don't even remember how many chairs I've had, but it's been so, I've been so blessed with such great leadership and people with foresight, and of course that trusted enough in me and our staff and our vision on how we wanted to proceed. And so, we've been blessed.
Yeah,
We really
great
have.
leadership attracts great leadership. So
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So is there anything we missed you want to talk about or tell anybody about?
just the future of the chamber is absolutely bright, and we're here for the business community every step of the way. And you've put together an amazing team. I just feel blessed to be a part of it.
Well, I'm glad to have you, and the rest. I told you all yesterday how blessed I am and how proud I am of you all, and I'll continue to do that forever. So thank you.
Thank you.